channel have a sport program, sports this morning, sport this evening. We have Paralympic. People with cerebral palsy, they have sports they play. They could start by reporting it. By so doing, hopes will be given to parents. Actually, my son could be a star.
We do.
I mean, regular coverage of maybe cerebral palsy league. Cerebral palsy
league. Because we do the Special Olympics and all of that.
I know, but I'm saying if we have more of that, if there's a cerebral palsy entertainer artist, like if your entertainment news can come up regularly, this will help the society. The society is no messed up. Permit me to use that word. So, well, government, we have a lot of government. All they want to do is hype. They are not really, they don't have the emotional intelligence to help the citizen. So it's so bad, it's so bad, so bad. People say they celebrate birthdays, they go to motherless babies home, but what really do they look for? Hype. I've been trying to get, as an ambassador of Benola, I've been trying to get celebrities to sign up at least. We have an anthem. All I want them to do is hold up a card, just saying you support, but I've been hearing you what's in it, what's your budget. It's so sad.
All right, Dada, you talked about the role of the media in helping to the inclusive process.
Yes,
what about the rest of the society?
The emotional intelligence is needed. We all need to start appreciating ourselves, show love. The facial expression, most important. In fact, I like to tell people, once you see anybody with any kind of disability, don't just stare, just walk up to the person, give a hug. I love you, and God loves you. That's fine enough than just, it's killing.
That kind of look.
That look is killing. Then we should be more enlightened. When you hear someone saying he's going for psychotherapy, doesn't mean that person is insane. That's why some of us don't go for that. We deal with depression, but you can't say you are going for psychotherapy in Nigeria without this another set of stigma that maybe is going nuts.
Mrs. Badibo, Dada says if somebody sees a person living with disability, can hug the person. But before you hug, you need to understand first. You're seeing somebody who you think should be normal in court, and the person is perhaps drooling, the person is, very restless, and you're telling the person to, this individual to hug this kind of person. Do you really blame the society for the kind of reaction they give?
No, not really. I don't. Because maybe if I don't have a son who has special needs, I might do the same. So I don't really blame people, but we need to be more aware. Knowledge is power. You can't go around hugging everybody because some people might not want even to be hugged. And a lot of people with disabilities.
1 second. We do have a caller. We call them the almighty caller. Hello? Hello, Chris?
Chris?
Chris, you want to make a comment or ask a question?
Okay.
Okay. we'll hope to get Chris back. And all those that are trying to get through to us, please keep trying. We're still here.
And you can also send your tweets. We'll read them out.
Okay. Not everybody wants to be hugged anyway, because a lot of them are angry. A lot of people with disabilities. I remember when I took my son to the immigration office, there was a time we needed to, renew his passport. And of course they will insist you bring, he was in a wheelchair, they saw this well-dressed couple. And when we got there, everybody was just staring at my son. And so he became restless because he doesn't like crowd. He became very restless and people were just looking at, and I started crying. And one young lady just came and said, "Mommy, stop crying. Don't worry. Just ignore them." So knowledge is power. If you see a person with disability or a mother, and that's why a lot of parents hide their children because of the stigma. Abroad in Britain, in America, it's even fashionable now to have a child with special needs. They don't call them disabled, special needs. There, the government pays you to look after your child. Education is free. When I was in England, my son was going to one of the best schools. The boss will come and pick him. They bring him back for you. Every child must go to school. He was going to a special needs school. So it's not everybody that can be included. And some, like I was saying before I went off, not everybody wants to be hugged. A lot of them are angry in Nigeria, especially teenagers, because they feel nobody cares about them. Nobody loves them. The only thing people do is to stare and stare and stare. You can say hello. Like now, we have started going around secondary schools in Lagos. In fact, we're going to Dowen College tomorrow in Lekki on Monday to give awareness talks to children, to students. When you are aware, you stop bullying. You won't make fun of them. You have to teach them from when they are very young. Last, I think on Thursday, we went to Edidot College. And before then, on October 3rd, we went to one of the
I went to Corona schools.
Corona schools. So we are going around schools in Lagos State to make the children to be aware that disability is not infectious, it's not contagious. If you have brain damage, you can't catch it. And it's not hereditary, So it's not something, so you have to be kind. You have to understand and you have to befriend them. Make them feel loved. And it starts from schools, because they go through a lot. Bullying, people, children could be very wicked, because they don't understand. But once they understand, like in America, everywhere, you take your child everywhere. Here in Nigeria, a lot of parents hide them.
So infrastructure too.
Because if you want to take a child out.
If a mother who doesn't have a car but has a
Thank
child
you.
with cerebral palsy, how is she going to bring the child out?
And you don't have a wheelchair. Even if you do, you want to enter the bus, there's no facility, there's no ramp. Even people who are not children, you have adults who are disabled. We have a friend who had an accident in his 40s, and now he's in a wheelchair. High-powered, he's very rich, he's okay, but you cannot go to the banks. There's no ramp. You can access the ATM. You're educated, you can do it. Dada can talk, he uses his cane, he can. But people in wheelchairs who can talk, who are reasonable, who can do things for themselves, but because the government and the society does not include them in anything, they are nowhere to be found. Banks, do you know how much money, if you have 25 million disabled people in Nigeria, do you know how much you'll be making? If you have ramps to the ATMs, if they can access your bank, even if it's one bank, everybody will troop to that bank who has special needs. And there are lots of things. So we have to include people who have disability in Nigeria. We have to understand. Abroad, you take your child out, nobody looks. Nobody looks at anybody because they are used to it and they have rights. If you have a child here, you want to take the child to the hospital, your child is drooling, people will not sit beside you in the bus. So you rather leave the child at home and pretend as if the child. So a lot of children die. They die because of neglect and and they feel that they are not loved. But the lucky ones, like my son, I tell him every time, Olalua, you are so lucky. His brothers love him to bits. His parents love him. We have a lot of them that the parents love. And because of that love, they bloom. They bloom. And the little they can do, my son can only smile and blow kisses. But once we come in right from the gate, Mama, Mama, he'll start laughing, smiling. His face will change, So we should encourage people with disabilities. We should include them. The government should pass the disability law.